Welcome to Simsbury, Connecticut, a town where the community builds the hopes of today and the dreams of tomorrow. Nestled in the Farmington Valley, Simsbury boasts some of Connecticut's most stunning natural beauty and offers endless opportunities to connect with nature and stay active year-round. Here, adventure awaits you at every turn. In the heart of Simsbury, located in the lower level of the historic Eno Memorial Hall, there exists a beacon of communication, collaboration, and community spirit for generations to come. And they do more than cover government meetings. It all began in the early 1980s when a group of passionate individuals came together with a shared vision to create a platform for local voices to be heard, stories to be shared, and events to be celebrated. For years, SCTV has been a beacon of local programming, offering residents a platform to voice their stories, showcase events, and connect with their neighbors. However, as time passed, the need for modernization became evident. Thus embarked a transformative journey spanning over 2 years, with numerous individuals and entities contributing to the rejuvenation of SCTV's studio space in Eno Memorial Hall. The start of the renovation efforts were made possible by our local heroes at the American Legion Post 84 with their generous donation to our humble studio. Simsbury town officials voted to provide SCTV with an end-of-year transfer to continue our renovation effort. A special thank you to town engineer Tom Roy, facilities supervisor Matt Hopkins, and their entire crew at Public Works. We deeply appreciate the contributions you've all made. Lastly, SCTV secured a grant from the state of Connecticut, facilitating the enhancement of our studio with upgraded cameras and other cutting-edge technologies. This milestone underscores the collaborative efforts that have made our renovation vision a reality. Thanks to grant funding, we received the shipment of equipment that would breathe new life into our efforts, and we had help setting everything up. For SCM, the arrival of the Uniset was more than just a delivery. It was the culmination of months of planning. A hearty thank you to the amazing staff at Weldon Hardware for helping us get the set off the truck. With the name change official, the last steps were to send out the invitations and invite the community to see all our hard work.
Another episode of Real Film Talk.
Someone's produce, we have a little...
Camera is fully
Incidentally, since I'm not a Star Trek...
Joining Diane and I today.
Yeah, look at
Sneaky.
but taken right back by Ty Petrus. Mozik, but I'll break the Eagles.
And this is Chuck Wolf. You're listening to the Emotion Roadmap.
Place camera movements.
Exactly.
So DJI has a place in my heart very near and dear. It's actually how I got into cinematography.
Oh, excellent.
I said, okay, it's on Netflix.
That's pretty dramatic, isn't it? That looks pretty nice. We could do the whole program just like this. But we've got some more lights in our studio we're going to turn on. All from the iPad. Pretty cool what you can do with technology. One last thing I forgot about. I apologize. Hopefully our friends at Public Works get us some ductless AC soon. So, my name's Patrick. I'm the station manager of Simsbury Community Media, located here in the historic Eno Memorial Hall. And it's no secret that we have been doing some changes and upgrades over the past couple of years. We have put a lot of thought and effort into what we wanted to do for the Simsbury community. We've made changes like replacing all the floors. We've acoustically treated our walls. We've painted all our walls. We've expanded our equipment closet. We've gotten a lot more equipment. So we have multiple 4K cameras that can be used in the field, here in the studio. I believe you can see us all on all three. By the way, we didn't do a sound check. We sound good, Bree? Thumbs up. We've put a lot of effort, myself, our production assistant, our board of trustees, and our volunteers, into making something very special for you. Our studio is free to anybody who wants to come in and make commercial-free content and really flex that creative muscle. You can rent our camera equipment and make whatever program you want. You can come to the studio, you can make whatever program you want. Just give me a ring and we'll make it happen. One of the fun things we did during this process is we interviewed our board of trustees, and they really said some interesting things about what this whole project meant to them. So we're going to play those now for you. As always, thank you for your support. If you want to find out how you can help preserve our operation and make sure Simsbury Community Media is around for generations to come, please visit digitalequityct.com. Thank you for your support.
Steve did a lot of that. He started me in it first. He did a lot of volunteering, and he says, you should come down and do some volunteering. And I said, oh, would you really? But I really did enjoy it. I really did enjoy it. My name is Chris Noble, and I have volunteered at Simsbury Community Television for over 27 years. I started out as a camera person and progressed to becoming a director at Town Hall, where I did lots of commissions and board meetings. I sat in my little cubby there and learned how to eventually do robotic cameras. I felt quite sophisticated doing all of the technical work there because it didn't come easy to me.
In the early 2000s, I became a member of the Aging and Disability Commission, and as a result, I started to watch some of the board meetings when I took a look at the agenda and noticed that there may be something that would affect aging and disability. My name is Mark Orenstein, and we've lived in Simsbury since 1972. Can you believe we're still in the same house? The way I got involved with the TV station is there was a political issue in town in the 2014-15 timeframe, and a meeting got moved from the main meeting room in Town Hall to the library. And I went to attend it, and I was talking with a cameraman there and learned that they had no capability to live stream the program from the library to the TV channel. They only had that capability in Town Hall. And at that point, a couple of days later, I contacted the manager of SCTV and had a meeting with her, and we went from there.
I'm currently going to Eastern Connecticut State University for a major in new media studies, which is basically just learning a lot about the Adobe products and the communication media field in general. Hi, my name is Cole Monacia. I'm a production assistant here at Simsbury Community Media, and I have been here for about a year now.
I started doing high school sports 22 years ago, and cover baseball, basketball, wrestling, football, few here, few there, do all the home football games, did all the home basketball games. My name's Roger Coombs, and I've been a volunteer at Simsbury Community Media for over 20 years. Started with doing some high school sports, and here I am 22 years later. I'm pretty much a Simsbury lifer. Been here since 1968. I also have a program, Inside Trojan Football, with Dave Masters, which has been a blast. Was able to cover Simsbury sports while my boys both play baseball and basketball. And I'm a graduate of Simsbury High School as well and played basketball there. So I love Simsbury. I bleed blue and gold, people say.
I'm Cole Perello. I'm currently a volunteer at Simsbury Community Media, and my history with SCM goes back to 2 years ago. I used to be a summer intern, but now I'm a part-time volunteer. I've lived in Simsbury for over 9 years. I graduated from Simsbury High School in 2022 and am currently enrolled at DePaul University in Chicago, getting my bachelor's degree in film.
People ask me, where are you going to move since you've retired? And our answer is we're going to stay where we are because we like the neighborhood, we like the neighbors, and just the general Simsbury area. My most exciting things that I do is water ski in the summertime and snow ski in the wintertime. The other things that really interest me is being a volunteer. I've volunteered for a number of organizations in the town of Simsbury since I've retired, and I really enjoy that because it's a matter of giving back to the community.
I like to write. I like to write content mostly, if that's not apparent. I came prepared for this interview today with the shirt. Cartoon Gateway, I make the program for the SCM. I'm doing this improv, so I don't really have anything prepared, but I do make programs for SCM, or at least one, Cartoon Gateway, and that's been fun. My name is David Halder. I've been volunteering here for, I think, about a year now or so. I've done some stuff on and off years ago, but like it didn't get real serious until about a year ago.
My name is Kevin Beal. I serve on the board of directors for Simsbury Community Media, and I've been involved with the organization for about 3 years. One of the things I love about serving on the board for Simsbury Community Media is the ability to partner with so many others in different walks in life in town. We have board members who work in our school system, who are in their own right AV nerds who love to get into the middle of all the detail of the electronics and the equipment and how the organization is formed, from other political leaders that we've had in town who have found their way into serving and working with Simsbury Community Media. I think that's one of the neatest parts about volunteering for an organization like this, is we see how much goes into creating and maintaining and supporting an organization like this, and that not everybody is the same and we all contribute different things to the overall organization.
I've lived in Simsbury for 33 years. We've raised our sons here, and I'm passionate about this community, from walking the course at Simsbury Farms to walking the trails to the culture, the restaurants, and just the general sense of community with our neighbors and our friends. We've built a life here and continue to enjoy it many years after we first stumbled upon Simsbury.
I've lived here in Simsbury for the past 16 years, and I've been a member of the Simsbury Public School System for the last 10 years. Hi, I'm Maggie Seidel. I've been a volunteer here at Simsbury Community Media for the last 2 years. As a family, we really enjoy living here in Simsbury. My husband and I are raising our 2 boys. We are involved in the school system, different music programs, and really just enjoy and value bringing our family up here in such an awesome little town.
It's really let me make a lot of the programming that I feel like would help me on a resume or a reel, but it's also helped me get more in touch with my community, because I gotta say, I'm not the kind of guy who engages a lot with Simsbury. Much as I hate to admit that, I probably not paid as much attention to my own town as I really should. So getting to come in here and seeing what other people are doing around town, whether that be like Bike Walk CT or Emotion Roadmap, I think it is, or other stuff like Real Film Talk. It's just nice to see a bunch of other stuff going on. It's cool. I find the most rewarding things is like seeing something that you've thought of like fully realized. Like, I mean, I'm the guy who likes to keep the stories or the things in my head, so seeing that kind of stuff like brought to life by a studio like this, it's rewarding to see that. It's like you don't really get that in like most other places, especially like if you're trying to make something for a big studio and like too many cooks in the kitchen, you know, like people always change stuff, but like here it's just nice and low key, but we're still making quality content, and I can't appreciate that enough.
Simsbury TV has had a major impact on me. You know, I knew about SCTV at the time just from watching primarily board meetings, you know, as well. I was on the Aging and Disability Commission. Once I got involved with the TV station and saw what the potentials were, it just opened my mind up again. In a sense, I was a full-time volunteer for a couple of years, getting things moving ahead, and it truly gave me a sandbox to play in. There were lots of toys that I could work with and do good for the town of Simsbury as well as SCM. It's just been a wonderful place for me to continue using some of the skills I had grown up with over the last 40 or 50 years, and take the station forward from standard definition, go with high definition, go with digital cameras, go with robotic cameras, being able to stream to YouTube. There's just been a number of things that caused me to do some investigation and movement ahead. I think One of the major issues was the advent of COVID here, and town hall shutting down and trying to get everything running, all board meetings, all town meetings running over Zoom while using equipment that had to be repurposed in town hall and being able to do everything from our houses. And it was a major challenge, but we were able to do it, and it worked out pretty well.
The most rewarding part of this job is teaching people who are eager to learn. I and other people know, whether it be me, Mark Ornstein, or any of the other board of directors who dedicate their time volunteering here to help the community in various different ways. Nothing's more satisfying than when you get somebody who asks a very good question and they're very eager to learn a little bit about what you know. SCM has impacted me in many different ways. Before I came here, I probably couldn't tell you how a government meeting worked, but now I kind of seemingly know the ins and outs of how town functions and government functions work on the community level. I've learned a lot about different technologies, about different software that's implemented for the use of broadcast. I've learned a lot about live streaming. There's something new I really learn here every single day, and that's one of the takeaways that's really big for me, is there should always be something new to learn, another goal to reach towards.
Simsbury Community Media has really given me the opportunity to see actions that are going on in the town. For example, the town meetings, Board of Finance meetings, the various committees that are broadcast over the TV and over the channels. I think that's an excellent opportunity for all people in Simsbury to take that opportunity to enhance their learning of what the town does and become more familiar with all the things that happen in this town. Simsbury Community Media does an awful lot for the community, and I feel that I'm a part of it, a part of the town, and certainly when I volunteer, it's a pleasure to do that.
I don't think if I came here probably a year ago and I discovered this place, I would not be at the level of video editing knowledge or just knowledge about media in general that I would be in another alternate timeline.
The best part about coming to SCM every day is just getting that new assignment and just like having fun creating it. And it's very rewarding to have the hard work pay off. You spend like a lot of time working on one video and it feels like it's kind of insurmountable. You're just like, oh man, like there's so much of this video left to complete and it feels like it's just gonna take forever. But like the moment where it comes together and you finally see it complete is, it really doesn't match any other feeling in my opinion.
Long before I got involved with Simsbury Community Media, I was a viewer. And I watched my son's high school football games. I watched Battle of the Bands many years ago, and some of the other programming that was provided on linear channels. It's exciting that that content still lives as archival content on our digital platform on YouTube.
It's just really brought me to meet folks that I wouldn't have normally met when my boys were younger. I would do the high school games, get to know players and parents. Then when my guys came up, got to know them. Now they're gone, I'm getting to know a whole new set of players, parents, the coaches, and it's really helped keep me in touch with the community in Simsbury. It's really fun to get to know the players, the coaches, and the parents of the young student athletes that I call games for, and it's really, really rewarding when I'm out at Fitzgerald's or Starbucks and I'll have a player or a parent say something to me, how much they enjoyed it, and they laughed at some of the fun stuff we talk about on the air. That definitely keeps me coming back year to year.
I think the impact that I've most noticed volunteering with Simsbury Community Media is the different opportunities that are out there and the impact that Simsbury Community Media has on many different aspects of our community, whether it be to showcase meetings or sporting events or opportunities for wellness programs. I just feel like I've learned a lot of other stakeholders and people that are being positively impacted by the work of Simsbury Community Media. I also think that it's shown me that there's so many opportunities for any person of any age, stage in their life to really come on and take this opportunity to produce something or to showcase something that they're passionate about.
So the renovation, of course, we can't even begin to talk about without giving kudos where kudos is due. And by that, I mean talking about Karen Hanville, who is my predecessor, who served this community reliably for 20 years, making sure we were on air with a shoestring budget. Karen did so many things here. And the renovation really started off of the back of her success and the things she did for us at the station. So we managed to acquire something to the tune of, I want to say, $150,000 to $200,000 in total grant funding from various different grants from the American Legion. Kudos to our heroes in our community for providing us funding. Thank you very much, sincerely. To the PEG-PISA grant, which is an annual grant from the state of Connecticut, and from the end-of-year transfer from the town of Simsbury. Thank you, everybody who works in the town offices. You guys are great. And last but not least, from the ARPA grant, which is the American Rescue Plan grant, which we applied for and we were given $10,000 for. So everything in the station's changed. It's very hard for me just to pick one thing because I meticulously went through and made sure we had all the appropriate things that we needed in order to make quality content. So this includes every one of our computers has been hand built. This is something that was important to me. I want to make sure all of our machines here are 4K editing machines. They're all 4K capable, and that we have enough to have a volunteer or a capstone student in the facility simultaneously working without interrupting productions or anything like that. So we actually have one in the back room where Mark Ornstein's office is. We've replaced all the floors in the facility. If you were in here circa 2019, 2020, and you haven't been in since, shocker, all our floors have been changed. We actually had the original asbestos tiles that were in the facility still installed on the floors, and there wasn't much we could do about that. So what we ended up doing was the contractor floated cement over them, and then we put an LVP. And we went with 2 tones of flooring. And in this room, the studio that we're in right now, we have a darker color, and then in the offices, we have a lighter color. We had an equipment room built and installed with a door to the studio, which hasn't been done before, and it's very convenient. Those were actually previously reel-to-reel editing booths, so people from the community could come in here and cut film and put together their own productions before we were a completely digital-based company. So we store all our equipment in there now. We've redone our storage solutions. We actually upgraded all our storage as well for every machine that actually works off a network for storage. We've developed what I call our asset library, where we organize and store all the different types of footages for people to use in their productions. So it's as easy as opening up File Explorer in Windows and typing in the theme of whatever you're looking for when you're editing a video. We've gotten all new 4K cameras. This one we're interviewing with right now is a Sony FX6. It's a very nice camera, and we actually have 3 of these in the studio currently, and this is what we shoot everything on. They all go over what's called an SDI connection to our editing PC, our main PC in the control room, and we can actually record all these cameras simultaneously in full 4K, which is fantastic. We've replaced all the monitors in the facility. We've gotten new field cameras. All the field cameras are 4K. We've been doing multicam sports productions. We've acoustically treated the walls in the room in here so that way, since we are in the basement of Eno, it's a big cement box. Everything in here was crazy, like very echoey before, but my voice right here sounds dead, and that's courtesy of Bob Serio at Perfect Vision and Sound. We paid him to come in and acoustically treat all our walls in here, so that way we would have a much better acoustic sound stage when somebody's speaking with the wireless lavaliers that we use. And speaking of which, we got new audio equipment. We got wireless lavaliers. We got a mixer for our PC. There's just everything you can think of has been changed. Our logo has been updated to reflect Simsbury Community Media, which was drawn by a very good friend of mine, a gentleman named Kyle Smith. the most talented graphic illustrator I've ever met in my entire life. Thank you for doing that for us, Kyle. It means a lot. You're a very talented person. And yeah, there's just too many things to really go over. We're in a completely different atmosphere, ball game, whatever you want to describe it as, compared to 2020. We are definitely a new animal, ready to handle the next generation of media content.
I would say, other than Patrick, I've seen firsthand how much SCM has changed, because my responsibility as a summer intern when I first started here 2 years ago was all about like coming in and helping with the renovations. So I saw SCM at its original state, and just seeing how much it's changed, the studio and like the equipment and everything has been super exciting, and it's just been like really awesome getting to come back and see how it's improved.
When I first came here to the station, there was equipment in the station. Everything was by CRT style TVs at the time, and analog stuff and cameras that people had to man, and everything was standard definition. And over time, with some money and fundraising, we were able to go through the next generation and install new cameras. So now we have a commercial system for sending the signals to Comcast and Frontier.
I think the most important thing is that it's become a lot more professional and, again, rewarding to be a volunteer for Simsbury Community Media. In addition to that, all the new technology that has been added to the studio in the past 2 years or so has greatly improved the organization and will greatly improve the productions that are done by the TV station. And not only in the studio, but also in the areas outside of the studio, like Town Hall, the Town Library, sporting events. So that's been a real plus for Simsbury Community Media. In addition to that, the fact that the studio's been, I'll put it, cleaned up, repainted, redesigned. Some of the physical aspects of the studio has changed. Again, that's just a great enhancement for the organization.
Oh, you know what? I was right here when it was kind of going underway. I have to say my favorite part is like the prompters and the talent monitors, because that was not something that I'm led to believe that is not something that was here before. And frankly, that has been a lifesaver on a lot of the programming I've helped make and helped film, because I've also helped editing and filming other people's programming. And I gotta say, the prompter, that would have been a lifesaver to have that like 10 years ago when I was just like trying to film stuff on my own and just couldn't memorize lines.
I came here at the end of the renovation, well, the big renovation of the floors, computers. I was here for some of the new equipment being added. Knowing before we edited on Macs, I'm a lot happier now that we're editing on very powerful Windows computers that Patrick custom made. They're a lot better than my own editing computer at home, which makes me feel a little sad, but it's a lot nicer to have these very powerful machines here because they make editing very nice, which is my main career focus. I would love editing, so having these custom built computers made just for editing makes it very nice and very easy to do.
In the 5 years that I've been involved, we've seen an increase in volunteers. We've seen an increase in the acquisition of broadcast gear and training for volunteers. Most recently, the addition of our new studio. The renovation to our studio is exciting, and it's going to provide a lot of opportunity for new productions, for elevating our production values, and for generating content at a higher level than ever before for our organization.
We took an opportunity to reimagine what the future of public media like this could be in community media. And we went through a rebranding effort, and we talked as a group about what we actually do and who we serve and what the future might look like. And they've actually gone through a rebranding and changed our name to Simsbury Community Media, and a whole studio redesign. So a change in the leadership with Patrick now leading the organization as our professional staff and the board, and this whole rebranding really looks to the future of how we can serve our community.
I think the path we're on now is a very exciting one, and I think we're making great efforts to make sure that we have the highest quality equipment possible to make the highest quality programming possible. And I think the more attention and resources we put into making SEM the highest quality it can be, it'll definitely be like noticed amongst the community as something to look out for and something to pay attention to. And I think in no time, I think SEM is going to be a very, very big part of what Simsbury is as a town and what it is as a community.
The future that I envisioned for us is one where we have a permanent stakehold in the community of Simsbury, being a place where anybody who is eager to learn about media production, social media, cameras, software, IT, whatever they'd like, to come here and to be able to learn those different life skills and career skills for free. That's something that's very important to me. I see us mostly moving to possibly a complete digital online presence. Unfortunately, if you're aware, cable television is on the decline. And unfortunately, our funding is tied directly to cable funding. So consider donating today. The way that it actually works with cable subscriptions is there's a per subscriber rate associated with your cable subscription that you have, and about $12 annually goes to a bucket that serves us and funds our overhead, which is the staff and equipment and various different needs. With the switch to most people going to internet services or streaming services versus an analog cable connection, we actually do not receive any funding from that platform. So hopefully the biggest change we'll see is a funding structure change in order for us to acquire more income in order to operate and to continue to serve this community.
I feel that the future of Simsbury Community Media is in the programming that they do. I see more sports, more town meetings, more information coming from the library. And since we have operations at those various facilities, I feel that Simsbury Community Media is just going to enhance all those opportunities and put more programs on the air so more people can enjoy it in the town, and their enjoyment will be to the programs that they really like.
In recent years, the amount of local coverage by newspapers and broadcast affiliates has been greatly diminished. So Simsbury Community Media has an opportunity to fill the void, to keep our residents in Simsbury informed, not only through our coverage of town meetings, high school sporting events and such, but even election coverage and other means, through other means of informing the community and bringing people together. It continues to be an exciting time for media production in general and for our operation in particular. We've certainly advanced our efforts in distributing our content on digital platforms, specifically YouTube, which creates access not only to people in our immediate community, but people in faraway places who may have a tie to Simsbury and be interested in it.
I feel with all the enhancements that have been done in the last year with this studio renovation, and Patrick Phelan down at the station is just a great guy to have on our team, and he really wants to ramp things up and get our name out to the community so folks can have their own programs, cover their own things they like. Just because I do sports, that's my ballywick, but there's so many other things that volunteers can do. Come get the equipment, work with Patrick. You would be amazed at how sweet it comes out.
In the Simsbury Public School, we have what we call the vision of the graduate. And the vision of the graduate are the competencies that we feel are most important for our students to leave Simsbury High School with. Those include collaboration, communication, being an innovator, being self-directed. Simsbury Community Media is an opportunity for us to really showcase some of those competencies for our students. I'm excited at seeing what our students, once they know what's here, what they will use this studio for, what they'll produce, what great ideas and things that they might bring to us. So that's really where I see one of the most exciting partnerships as I think about what we're looking forward to our students as they leave us. Simsbury Community Media really provides an opportunity for their creativity, their innovation, and just their brilliance to come through. And it's right here in town, and it's very, very close. So I feel like that partnership, those opportunities for internships Externships are really exciting for our future.
One of the things that's going to change for Simsbury Community Media is how we're able to fund our operations. We all know that there are cord cutters and a change to the way that people engage with media and even the way that we engage with our town government. So while we have some challenges with people subscribing to cable, which has traditionally been the means through which community media stations are funded, we also see a higher demand on being able to access things like town meeting, and that's something that Simsbury Community Media is able to provide. So the future for us involves looking at other ways that we can serve the community and be where the community needs us, and recording both public meetings but also private events and other activities where we can leverage the fact that we have this equipment in this studio and the ability to capture content that you wouldn't otherwise be able to in a small town like this.
And the whole broadcast industry is dramatically changing. They're going from fixed TV channels to basically streaming on demand. And that's going to impact what we do here too. So I think over time, you will not see us having the three TV channels that we currently have, because TV channels are going to go away. And what we'll be doing is a lot of streaming and programming, both here in the library, in town hall, and around town, that I think people will enjoy, and at least in town. And it'll be a fairly dramatic change for how we do things here.
Community is people coming together.
Community, to me, is just somewhere where you feel like you belong.
I'd say community means to me just like having people who are willing to help you when you need it, and who you are willing to help, because that is a two-way street.
Community is your friends, family, your school, your neighbors, everyone around you.
Everyone stepping up and doing a little something to give back to the community.
A place where people feel connected, people feel safe, and people feel as though they've got relationships that they care about.
A community should be a place where people feel secure and they're able to thrive or find support if needed.
Community is synonymous with collective for me. So it's really about the collective of residents and people who care greatly about the place that they live, coming together to try to make it better for everybody.
Community is hard for me to define, but it means, to me, people interacting positively with each other most of the time, but people willing to hold positions and discuss positions as well, and people willing to compromise. And I think SCM plays a role in that. I'm done. Enough, yeah. That's enough. Yeah.
Are you walking out on this interview?